بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. The whole of mankind, we're all divided into many different groups. Some people are Muslims, some people obviously are non-Muslims. You have black people, white people, tall people, short people. Everyone's divided, but regardless of these divisions, all of us, we hold on to some key concepts. Everyone has a concept of good and evil. Everyone has a concept of justice and injustice. Now, subhanAllah, we've been here for years now speaking about the situation of Aafia Siddiqui. We've been talking about her virtues. We've been talking about the injustice of the American administration. But one thing that we need to remember is that we need to remember who we're talking about here. We're talking about the United States of America, a country which was established with the murder really of Native Americans. I mean, some of the estimates are from 2 million to 100 million Native Americans murdered when Christopher Columbus forgot his tom-tom and ended up in America. You know, he wanted to go to India. He ended up in America. Also, it was enriched on the backs of slaves. Hundreds of millions of slaves died, making America rich, you know, as it is today. And then we find that also, up until this day, economic enslavement. You know, young people can't find jobs. They can't improve themselves. And so we need to remember when we're asking the USA or whoever, you know, can you let our sister go? We need to remember who we're asking. These are people who, you know, destroyed Vietnam, destroyed Hiroshima. They've done these things, so don't expect anything from them, really and truly. Remember who you're asking. It's like we go back to the seerah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when we find that people will go to the Abu Jahals and they would ask them and they would turn them away. So it's the same for us today. What we need to understand is that we really need to look at ourselves and our own condition. And maybe a year ago, I went to a talk in Peterborough with Brother Uthman Latif, Hafidhullah, and he was mentioning the issue about dehumanization. And wallahi, we suffer from this ourselves. Because we're talking about Jews and Hitler and how the Nazis, they would just give the Jewish people just numbers. They wouldn't give them a name. They wouldn't give them any kind of meaningful way to identify themselves. They would strip them of their clothes and leave them on the floor until the actual people carrying out the gas chamber, murders, etc., they would actually look down on them and actually think these people actually are not human. And it's the same for us really, because as you heard of a few speeches earlier on, Dr. Aafia Siddiqui was just a number before, the grey lady, number 650. And unfortunately, we have fell into that ourselves. You know, the Americans and any country, they always look out for their own people. Every time you hear of an American soldier or a UK soldier or a French soldier being killed in combat, you hear about their name, you hear about their family. Maybe their family didn't come out and speak and say what this person wanted to be when they were young, when they were just a child. And you kind of feel this emotive towards them. But at the same time, when it's a Muslim that's been murdered for whatever reason, wherever they are, sometimes you don't even get a name. You just have 20 people killed in such and such attack in Afghanistan, 20 people killed in such and such in Pakistan or what have you, and we don't have any emotive towards them. And this is our problem that we have. We've become desensitized. We have, by not even understanding the reality of what's going on in our countries, we have aided the problem. You know, a lot of the time we have ourselves to blame. A piece of poetry that I heard, the poet mentioned, جزاه الله شدائد كل خير عرفت بها عدوي من صديقي. The poet mentioned that compared to what we would do if it was actually our blood brother being murdered, you know, and all of these things. We would do more. We would do much, much more. So when we say إِنَّمَا الْمُؤْمِنُونَ إِخْوَةٌ, the believers are brothers, what are we doing for our brothers really and truly? we're not doing enough. I was watching on Al Jazeera a demonstration in Syria just this Friday, and they were saying that the same way that everyone is up in arms about what's happened about the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the Muslims, they should be coming to our aid. They should be rising up about us as well. And it's true. It's true because, of course, the sanctity of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we should be demonstrating, we should be doing whatever we can. But at the same time, we're not doing at the same level for the Muslim brothers and sisters. And what we're doing for the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and for the Muslim brothers and sisters isn't enough. Inshallah ta'ala, I'd like to thank the brothers and sisters